How's it going, everybody, and welcome to another Planetary Annihilation Titans commentary. I'm your host, Krennic, and welcome to another Planetary Annihilation Titans matchmaking. This is a replay between Nicola and Matsne, and what's really interesting about this match is the fact that Nicola is currently holding a #1 spot in Planetary Annihilation Titans leaderboard, so it's gonna look like a really interesting game. Matsne, on the other hand, I'm not entirely sure what rank he is, but he is definitely going to try his best to make sure he can withstand Nicola. And let's see if he's actually going to have a capability to defeat her. We are about to start the game right now. We're just going to wait for Nicola and Matsne to pick their landing positions, and we should be ready to go. As you can see, we are on a pivot system, really popular map in 1v1 ranked matchmaking. And what's also really interesting about this map is the fact that the distance between two opponents is going to be quite large, and it looks like Matsne as well as Nicola are now ready to go. Let's have a look at Matsne. He is going for a bot factory. Really interesting approach, as the factory not only is going to be built quite fast, but also it will produce some fabricating bots which are really high mobility, and they will be able to spread the economy as much as possible. So really good approach coming here from Matsne. Let's take a look at Nicola. Looks like Nicola is doing quite an interesting approach, and she is gonna go for vehicle factory. Really interesting, but this does give her capability to expand the economy really quickly, as she does have metal extractors really close to her. Really good approach as well. Also some extra metal energy plants in place as well, making sure the economy can be maintained on 100% efficiency. Really interesting indeed. Let's take a look at Matsne. Let's see what he is up to at the moment. And he looks like he is also going for an air factory. Looks like he is going to try to gather intel as much as possible. Those bots are already in action, trying to expand the economy as much as they can. They're doing it pretty quickly, so that's really good approach. And it looks like we have some scouts already in place going towards Nicola. Matsne is gonna have intel of what she's building and will be able to create some kind of strategy around it, making sure they will be able to withstand. And it looks like we have some forces going from Nicola already down. Scout is going to be taken down, but he did manage to get some intel. He knows there is some anti-air defense, so he is going to try to counterpart as much as he can. Looks like he is also going for a vehicle factory, so he is trying to get a full house. Some hummingbirds already in the field, along with some doxes, which are going to try to either counter-attack what Nicola is sending towards him, or are just gonna sit defensively the way they are now. Really defensive approach coming here from Matsne, but at the moment it looks like pretty good. Looks like those fabricated vehicles are being assisted by some small army, making sure they can be maintained as much as possible. But we have still a large amount of army coming from Nicola, constantly expanding. She is also deciding to go for a Firefly, or as we mentioned before, a scout, and that scout is going to patrol around the area straight away. She is slowly sending them not directly towards her enemy, but across the map, making sure there aren't really unnecessary units. Actually, no, this Firefly is going straight from Matsne's base. Decides to pull back a little bit. Maybe it has gathered enough intel, but it doesn't look like, considering the sphere surrounding the Firefly has not reached his base here. At the moment, looks like she is just gathering intel about possible flank Matsne might be going for, but he doesn't decide to do it just yet. He decides to go for another air factory, so that's really interesting approach indeed. Let's switch back to Nicola and see what she's up to. We have a radar in place, so we are gonna have some kind of information right now, and it looks like we got drifters in action as well. And it looks like she is going for a really interesting approach. She's sending her army over along with some builders to protect them. Really interesting. We don't see this quite a lot, but again, this is a #1 player in PA Titans, so she definitely knows what she's doing. We will let her do what she's doing, because at the moment it looks like this is going pretty well for her, army wise and economy wise also. But it looks like we have some hummingbirds coming from Matsne, but we also have another hummingbirds along with the scout coming from Nicola, and she knows that his squadron is patrolling right in this section. And it looks like we have anti-air in place as well. That anti-air is gonna force those hummingbirds back, making sure that they don't take any more damage. But we have a little army of dogs coming towards Nicola right now, but that single bomber will take them down. Really good job from a Bumblebee here right now, taking down that little patrol that was sent over by Matsne. But it looks like he is forcing his units back. He knows that he stands no chance against that army that Nicola is currently imposing upon him. So it is going to be, it does look like Nicola has quite a map control at the moment, which puts her in quite a big advantage. Matsne, on the other hand, he still has quite a big map control, but he is staying in quite a tight area. We have quite a large force of 19 units coming towards Nicola, but on the other hand, Nicola has also 19 units along with that bombing squad that is gonna take down large amount of those forces, and those bombers are gonna deal really good damage. But again, Matsne is gonna suppress it with his army of hummingbirds along with his bomber as well. Really interesting to see this. I might be actually starting to using this strategy in Planetary Annihilation Titans. It looks like Nicola is gonna go for the first attack, and it looks like this is gonna be quite a big one. Those doxes are exchanging fire with those strikers of Nicola, but Matsne decides he is gonna pull back. He cannot afford to lose any more soldiers, but Nicola decides to go really aggressively, and she is gonna begin her first attack on Matsne's economy. He decides to join in the battle, make sure he can stop it as much as he can, but he is being flanked from both sides over here as well. So it looks like really interesting approach going on here, and it looks like those drifters and that anti-air is really doing his job. But we have another squadron coming from Matsne. He is going to be, however, forced to be sent back, as he doesn't have anything to take down that anti-air. And it looks like this board factory that's been set by Matsne slightly away from his base is going to be taken down. We have another force of grenadiers also coming towards Matsne's base. It looks like it is going to be quite a heavy attack. We have a scout in the field. Matsne knows exactly what is going on, but does he have enough forces to suppress it? At the moment, Nicola is putting a really heavy attack, and it doesn't look like Matsne's got enough resources to take it down. However, Nicola's economy is down to 62%. She is gonna have a less capability to produce the army, as it is gonna be quite slow for her. But it looks like we still have quite a lot of engagement going on here. Infernos from Matsne have finished off the job, but Nicola is not backing down. She is still gonna try to suppress him as much as she possibly can. Let's have a look what's actually going on in her base at the moment. Looks like she is constantly sending forces over. Another air squadron coming from Nicola as well. She's doing absolutely well. We also have 12 grenadiers at the flank ready for orders. So really interesting approach from Nicola right here. She is trying to suppress as much as she can, but it looks like we have another battle going on right here. Let's have a look of what the squadron is up to. Quite a lot of bombers along with hummingbirds in position of Matsne, so he is doing pretty well. And it looks like a massive army of 22 units currently going from Matsne, so that's really interesting indeed. And it looks like they are reaching those ruins already, as we can see. Quite an interesting approach coming from here. Grenadiers are also in place right now, so that's really interesting indeed. A big army coming from them as well, along with a giant air suppression coming from Matsne as well. I thought this game is going to be quite equal, but we can see that Matsne is holding strong, and he is going to go for another attack. Let's actually have a look of what's going on here, because this actually looks really interesting right now. Of grenadiers along with Nicola's army slowly being suppressed, but she is holding strong. She is doing absolutely fantastic right now. Those tanks are still in charge. We have Infernos going to the field right now. Those Grenadiers are being put over the wall. They have capability of shooting those tanks down. Really good position in here, and the use of Grenadiers from Nikolai. And we also have another Grenadiers coming out to take those ants down. Really good approach from Nikolai. Quite a lot of battle going on here in the middle section of this map. Really, really interesting. Looks like Nikolai is going to be quite safe. And looks like we have advanced bot factory along with locusts that are currently going right towards Matsnet indeed. It looks like locusts are constantly being produced. We know in large numbers. Locusts can be quite effective, and we can also hear them squeak. That sound is absolutely terrifying. We have another bot factory coming from Matsnet as well, and those factories are going to produce bots. Looks like Nicola is doing something really risky. She is getting her commander involved in economy maintainment. That's really, really interesting approach right here. Let's have a look at what actually is going on here, because it looks like we have a bombing strike coming here from Matsnet, and it looks like he is gonna slowly try to kill them off. Little amount of bombers. I don't think that's gonna be enough to sustain it. Looks like we have an attack on this vehicle factory, and that vehicle factory is slowly taking damage, currently at 40%, and it's going down really quickly considering we have Infernos that have capability to take them down really, really quickly. Really good approach indeed. Looks like Nicola is really, really consolidating their power. That use of Grenadiers from Nicola is really effective. They really have the capability of damaging something that you would think is impossible to damage, as those Grenadiers are firing over that wall, hurting Matsner's economy. It's really difficult for him to maintain his economy right now, only at 48%. Really difficult for him. Those energy plants are really going down, and he is about to get his economy damaged even more. He's doing really fantastic. Nicola is currently suppressing him over this wall, damaging his main source of energy, but his energy is still quite strong. He is still on 40,000 extra, and it looks like Matsnet decided to surrender. You know what? Matsnet actually decided, you know what? Screw this. Look at the amount of army Nicola is on right now. Her map control is absolutely amazing. He has been crushed from pretty much every single side, and he decided, you know what? I am not gonna fight her. I am not gonna let her have that pleasure. And it looks like Nicola is gonna be a definite winner here. Good job, Nicola. GG's. Let's actually take a look at a little bit of statistics. Let's have a look on how Nicola's army is looking like, and it looks like she has 400 units on the battlefield right now, which looks like mobile units are 283, 15 fabers and 24 factories. This is looking really, really strong, and obviously Matsner is currently on 0. Let's have a look how much he had before he surrendered, and it looks like you can see on that table above that actually his count has been really low in comparison to Nicola. 109 units, 50 mobile in comparison to 240 of Nicola. He absolutely stood no chance. Every single number, as you can see in the table above, has been lower than hers. As you can see, those Grenadiers really did their job with taking down his economy. So really good job to Nicola. Very good game indeed. Thank you so much for watching Planetary Annihilation Titans commentary. If you'd like to see more of that kind of content, let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm Krennic, and I'll see you guys in the next one.